It has been a while since I have done a dividend update, so let's go and have a quick look and see how things have been looking within all of my portfolio. So I'll be looking at my net worth in investments. If we have a quick look here on Snowball Analytic, I'd set myself a £2,500 target for dividends in the year, and you'll see that I'm projected to beat that by a little bit, and it's whatever's going to come in December I'm beating that by. But you will see that September was quite a good month, second highest of the year, behind June, which is obviously a bumper dividend period for basically anybody who invests into any types of ETFs. And in total in September I had 21 dividend payments, and that landed on 13 days within the month of September. So it was really good getting that dopamine hit constantly coming in, where I was seeing dividends landing quite often. Those of you who have been watching on either YouTube Shorts or Instagram, you'll have seen that I am invested into what is called the Ryder Cup of dividends, and very aptly Europe managed to win very recently over in the States, which was certainly a nail-biting finish to the competition. But the first group of dividends that have paid me are very small in size, and that is basically because I've been trickling in £60 per week into 12 US dividend growth stocks and 12 European dividend growth stocks. So they are small payments that come in, but over the month I have had some quite large payments of dividends. So let's go and do a quick run through. So the Ryder Cup of dividend ones are Microsoft at 10 pence, Visa at 11, Next Era Energy at 43 pence, Southern Copper at 51 pence, 57 pence for PepsiCo, Chevron coming in at 60, and Shell 62 pence. I then bounce into some that are a little bit bigger. So you have Anglo American paid me £2.10, Glencore £4.10. Rolls-Royce is my largest growth in a single stock, and that is up nearly 425%. Rolls-Royce recently only bringing that dividend back, and if we say a dividend, it is paying 0.89%, so not anything to write home about, but it did pay me £4.57. We've then got Invesco's FTWG, so the all world global ETF, that paid me £12.02, and that actually sits within my self-invested personal pension, and I'm just building that up over time. I just have a regular payment goes into that account and just keeps ticking away. When I've got additional money then coming in on top of that, I then flip that into there to make it as tax efficient as possible. Lloyd's is up almost 100%, and having a look at that, when did anybody think that Lloyd's was going to be back up close to that 100 pence per share level? And Lloyd's paid me £13.42, and that has a dividend yield of just under the 4% mark. Next highest dividend paid by AGNC Investments, and this one is up about 17.5% in my portfolio. It comes in at about a 14% dividend yield, so that is high. I do agree that that one is very high, but I've sort of bought that in, got a nice bit of growth out of it, and also got that nice steady monthly dividend payment coming in, and that paid me £15.63. Next up we have Rio Tinto coming in. This paid me £17.77, paying a dividend yield of 5.83%, and if we're looking at the growth of that one, nothing really to write home about. It's up literally about 1.5%. Next dividend is looking at BP, British Petroleum. This has done reasonably well for me over the last period of time. I'm up about almost 16.5% on this one, and it paid me £24.78, dividend yield of about 5.77%. Next, I have iShares IUKD, so the UK dividend ETF. That is held over on my InvestEngine account, but that one paid me £26.32, and it's nice to just get that ticking in every quarter. Then we've got Pfizer also paid me a nice little dividend, and it came in at £28.49. This one thankfully saw a bit of a rush last week when Donald Trump opened his mouth yet again and saw lots of the pharmaceutical companies going on a bit of a run upwards. Pfizer is paying me at the moment about a 6.31% dividend yield. It would have been slightly higher when that one actually came in. We then have the one that everybody is always looking forward to, and that is Realty Income. And Realty Income this month paid me £28.94. And as we know, that is the monthly dividend payer. It's up about just over 5% and paying a very similar dividend yield of 5.33. This one is the largest holding that I do have within my whole portfolio. I am starting to build up that FTWG holding. That's getting up close to a similar position. But as I said, I'll just keep adding to the ETF, and it will gradually become very much the largest holding within my overall portfolio. You get into the last three, and Oxford Lane Capital. If you remember back a few weeks ago, there was a reverse stock split that took place. You ended up going 5 shares became 1. Since that happened, there has been about a 5% reduction in the value of Oxford Lane Capital. But as you can see, it's paying a ridiculous dividend yield. Please do go and do your own research. Don't just decide to go and buy it just because it's got a massive dividend yield. But it paid me £34.13. So that is a decent payment, and that comes in every month. Then my worst performing stock is the Renewable Infrastructure Group, so TRIG. That is down just about 22%. At one stage, it had almost got itself back up to being almost all square, but it has dropped back down again. This one paid me £39.68, and that's on a dividend yield of 9.83%. And then one that I know from looking on Instagram and everything, the one company that everybody has done exceptionally well out of this month is that stalwart UK insurance company, Legal & General. Legal & General only up about 5% in my portfolio, but with that 9.11% dividend yield, it paid me for the 1,650 shares or so that I hold just under £100. So I got a payment from Legal & General of £99.08. And I think this is their final payment. Their previous payment earlier on in the year was much higher than this one. So all in all, I have had the largest payment from Legal & General across the whole portfolio. For this calendar year of 2025, looking at bringing in about £2,700. And if we look at that, that is £7.41 a day. I think, does that get you a Big Mac meal or something? I'm not sure. Don't go to McDonald's that often, but could potentially do something like that, or could pay for your really expensive coffee in Starbucks. Looking at monthly £225. So that would definitely be covering probably my council tax and my water bill. So that is great news. Looking out to that 1 year ahead, I am just a fraction under £3,000. How much did you manage to make in September in dividends, and what have you done with all that money? Have you just reinvested it? So why don't you go and have a look at this video, which might give you some ideas of where to put some of that money that you made in dividends. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.